Okay, so you see this plant over here. So far, so good. Well, you might spot something that's not so good. But we look a little bit lower. Now, this is the thing with this particular plant. I've not had much luck. For some reason, and I don't know what it is, I've tried to look at every single factor. Well, I think I might have looked at every single factor, because otherwise, why is it happening again and again? I could do a superficial thing, and that is snip the dead leaf off. I don't know whether that would really diagnose the problem for me. It could be a whole variety of factors, but what you find in lots of organizations, brands and businesses is, firstly, perhaps for optics' sake, a quick snip, for like a superficial cut will perhaps fix the issue. Not quite, because it could be a recurring problem. So it's only really helping you with a short-term fix, if you like. I wouldn't really class it as a fix. And so what's happening is we're not zooming out enough. And so if I was to zoom out a little bit more, I would think about, okay, perhaps I'm not cleaning the leaves enough. You know, when you've got to polish them so that they can absorb more efficiently, more effectively, perhaps that's what's going on. Perhaps it's not in the right position. Perhaps it's needs to be repotted. Perhaps it's lonely and needs to be beside others. Perhaps I just need to speak to it more. There's so many things that, you know, if you zoom out or even zoom in, you can diagnose and you can better sort of identify a cluster of possible issues. And then you could go down the road of looking at each of those issues in turn or in collaboration and figure things out. But this is not how problems are solved these days, are they? Like, no one's looking at every single possible factor, what all the issues are, and perhaps then trying to figure this out in collaboration or even with a long-term view in mind. So this is the problem with problem solving. The immediate fix is, let's just snip what's not working and perhaps move the whole plant and pop it somewhere else. Does that fully identify the issue? Because there are other things going on as well. So other things in an organization could be not a very healthy environment, or a culture, if you like. The atmosphere isn't right for it. Perhaps the thing that needs to be fixed is in the wrong space, is in the wrong place. Perhaps it's a timing issue. Perhaps there needs to be a little bit more awareness of its placement alongside others. Perhaps it's next to another plant that it doesn't like. Same goes for any kind of entity or issue or project. Perhaps it's running in parallel with something else that just doesn't work, or perhaps there's something else that needs to happen before it works. There's all these things that just don't happen when organizations, leaders, bosses, brand owners are trying to problem solve. They'll go for the quick fix. Sometimes public relations and spin does that. Shouldn't, but sometimes it does, in order to sort of give a quick fix and to do it for optics. It's an illusion, isn't it? It's an illusion. Organizations might take that sort of approach in order to get a quick win. This idea of a quick win, it's not great. It feels like you're cutting corners. I just don't think it's the best way to approach any kind of issue, or to even approach, I would say, achievement and progress. Why do we want a win to be quick? Don't you want a win to be more significant, to be more substantial rather than quick? So this is a problem with problem solving. We don't have enough people in decision-making positions who are able to zoom out and zoom in enough. They'll either just look at the sort of low-hanging fruit and just pick that, and that's super easy, or they will perhaps make a very hasty move and judgment and just, I don't know, like I could basically prune this plant to death, thinking, oh, okay, it's overgrown. I mean, there's definitely going to be, whoever knows about this plant will most definitely, I'm sure, tell me in the comments what I'm doing wrong. This is the second one of this kind that I've had, and I am, yes, I know I've got an old player from my uni days, but actually maybe a little bit later than uni days, but I'm sure someone's going to tell me what I'm not doing for the care of it. But again, I'm using it as an example. I'm hoping that you can use this metaphor, if you like. Sometimes I have to remind myself of the difference between a metaphor and an analogy, but also you've got isophors, which is a whole other thing. Is really helpful as well. But perhaps I'll put it on one of my YouTube shorts or something. But I would love to hear from you. And if you are the 100th subscriber, that's absolutely awesome. Videos every Friday and sometimes Monday too. I really appreciate you being here for Serena's Playbook. I am a chartered public relations practitioner. I've been in media, comms and content for more than 20 years. I'm a systems thinking practitioner, currently studying it at a postgraduate level, and I'm also a content creator, so I come at this sort of world of strategic thinking with many different hats, and so I like to sort of bring my sort of various skill sets and insights together in a bit of a tapestry, if you like, much like a bricklayer. I've spoken about bricklayers as well before on videos. So I bring my sort of creativity and even my sort of world in art to the table. So I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.